Yo, I'm Seck, and this is the Nashville Filmmakers Guild. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I was always like into art and like drawing and just doing shit like that. And then as I got older, I got into acting, and that was like my main focus. Like ever since I was probably 11, all I thought about was just being in front of the camera. And as the years went on, like I started to just dig deep into this and started to like just learn about different aspects of filmmaking, just besides acting. The first one was screenwriting, because I was in class one day and I was reading this book and it had the word screenwriter. Like one of the characters was a screenwriter. And then I went to my teacher. I was like, what does a screenwriter mean? And then she was like, it's somebody who writes movies. And I was like, oh shit, it like all clicked. Like, well, if I want to be an actor, I need to like write so I could act in my own stuff. So I started to went on Google and just learned how to write screenplays and shit. I was doing that for a little bit. And then it went from like, well, if I write this, I need to direct it or something. I don't even know how I got into directing, because I never knew there was like a such thing as a director. Just like one thing led to another. Like it was just everything happened organically. Like wanted to be an actor, learned how to write, and then got into directing, and then that shit just like took over. Like so the crazy thing as far as like my career go, it was never like a visual thing when I was younger. Everything I learned about film was through books and like reading. So when I got into like screenwriting, I was reading like these screenplays. Either like I would get them out the library or something. The first screenplay I ever read was was Juno, like in the format and everything. So I read that, and then I started like reading plays. Like I read a lot of play, like Neil Simon, Tennessee Williams. So I used to copy them. I think the first thing I wrote, I just copied David Mamet. Like it was just some heavy dialogue shit. I was never like watching films because I was young, so I didn't really like. Even if I did watch those films, I don't think I would really like take them for what they really were. So reading the screenplays, I could just like I had a formula to like go off of. So I would just read, like I would read Juno and then just write a film exactly like Juno, or read a David Mamet play and just write exactly like him. Woody Allen was like my first kind of real like influence, where I like straight up just took his style of writing, just made it, I don't know, just made it black. Like it's like just taking these people. I didn't even understand like where he was coming from, like the type of stuff he did. Like I was just like, well, this guy's like super prolific. He had all these movies and he wrote all of them and he directed all of them. So I was like, well, shit, I just need to just get on with his on. So I thought comedy was the best or like the easiest way to break into writing and directing. So a lot of the early stuff I wrote was just like comedies about neurotic people, which is not even like realistic, because I don't know any black person like that. So I was just kind of I was making my black version of Woody Allen, like Manhattan or fucking Annie Hall and shit. When I was working on my short Free, it was because it was something that just came out the blue. I kind of shot this documentary with like there wasn't a script and there wasn't like I didn't have any intention. Like I was just kind of going out in the field, shooting whatever, and kind of building that story as we were going, and just like the person I was documenting, just learning about him and just seeing the story come together as I was shooting, and like getting super excited as the time went on. I was That was a great experience, because like you can make art to like feed others. Then there's like art that you make that feeds you as well. So, and I think that's important, to just like feel good about exactly what I'm doing. That like that's the drive that keeps me going. Like it's not just like you're doing this because it's like quick money or it's how you pay your bills. I mean, that's important too, but just like this, like I'm excited to be making this, and I think that's important. So I've been working on this documentary with B Shooting, and we shot this one scene over at his grandfather's house, and he still get his haircuts from his grandfather, and then I feel like black figures are like super important, to like be able to show that without that being like the main subject, to just kind of like show him interacting with his grandfather. They talked about everything from like the COVID to like women to like his childhood and all sorts of stuff. And I just feel like this is a reality. Like this is his real life, and just get to show that, like share that with the world. And that's something too that I always try to like incorporate in my work, like highlighting the Black experience in Nashville. When there's something fly about being a Black filmmaker, because what I am, it's like the root of everything that I make. The sense of knowing what I am determines the type of work that I do and who I do it for. So I think it's important to like use my lens on my people and try to like tell our experience as much as I can. So I guess you can call it like a love letter to like the Black people of Nashville. This is something I've been talking about since I was like in high school. Like I had read this Spielberg book and it talked about how he made his first film when he was like 15 and shit. So like ever since I read that, it's always been like in the back of my mind, like I have to make something like feature length. Like I'm 23, so it's like fuck it. Like what do I want to say when I look back on this? Like all right, I made a feature length film when I was 23. Like I could, like I want to be able to say that. Like I feel like I owe that to myself. It was like right around after high school, like once I graduated, like I knew I didn't want to go to college or film school. So like I thought I was just gonna make a feature and break into the industry that way, but like it doesn't work like that. So I had probably like spent that whole summer just shooting music videos and like getting paid like 150 or something like that. So I always had that in the back of my mind, and this was something that I wanted to do and like make a living off of. Commercials came after, probably like 2019 or 2020. That's when I started to like look into commercials and stuff like that. And I shot a couple of specs. Some agencies saw it and they reached out on Instagram, and it's like one thing led to another. And they pitched me on jobs. Some of them I didn't get, and then I don't know. It's always just like having to just being very clear about what you want to do, because it's different aspects and different levels to this. Like, and I feel like once you kind of lock that in, then you just get an idea of what path you need to take and what you need to do. The other side of me, it's like Seck, the artist, like whatever it is that I want to do, like the sky's the limit. There's this joy that I find in that. Just making sure that I never kind of like burn out or just hate what I'm doing or just doing it because like I need the check or anything. Just like never losing that sense of just like, yo, I still have this voice. I still have these ideas that are my own. So just, find that balance. I used to work at Sprint, and I had a customer one time. She came in there, and I had shot this short film. It's like a minute long. I didn't know what to do with it, and I was kind of just like dying to show to somebody. So I was talking to this lady, and then I don't know how the conversation just came up on film and stuff. But we started talking about film, and she was a filmmaker and stuff. So like I showed her the short film that I did, and she was like, "Yeah, you should like get on these Facebook groups and stuff, and like you could find crews and like cast and stuff like that." So she told me about the National Film Guild. So community is always important to me, especially like when it comes to the filmmaking world, because even though I do shoot by myself and stuff, it's still about the community at the end of the day. Like I've learned so much from just meeting people versus just trying to like lock in to myself and just do what I can. Like, and it's getting to a point where that doesn't even fly no more. Like, you don't want to show up to a big shoot with your camera and like just by yourself. Like, you need a team to make it work. And that's what it's about at the end of the day. Like building relationship with people, being a part of your community, being there for others, and just making dope stuff. Like just seeing dope stuff too, because everybody here make super dope stuff. It inspires me. Shout out to the Nashville Film Guild.